Hi everyone, it's Monica and welcome back to my channel. Well, a few days ago I shared with you a project where I created this little slide to put on one of my passport books, and ever since then I've been really obsessed with creating these little slides. Now the slide that I created, like anything, when you start to create a new idea or design a new project, you always think of things after the fact that you should have done. Well, with these, as I continued to play with them, I became more and more fascinated and obsessed really with what you could actually do with these little slides. So I wanted to share with you some of the ones that I created, and then I want to show you some of the little tweaks that I did from my last video. So as I explained, the slides are white, and I probably should have had one in front of me. I'll have to get one in just a minute, but they're white like this. And what I've been doing is I've been decorating them. Well, on the video that I shared with you before, the back side had those flaps. Well, I've got a solution for that, so I want to share that with you as well. But then I also kind of got a little bit more creative using my paper dolls, and I didn't necessarily stay within the square of the slide. I've actually kind of gone off the sides, which really create, oh, they're so cute. I just love them. This one actually, you know, is coming off the side, and from the back you can see it's not perfectly on the slide, but it really just kind of adds to the whole design. So I've been using the little paper dolls, and I'm always looking for projects to use the little paper dolls because sometimes they're just so small you don't really know what to do with them. But these little paper dolls are a perfect size for these slides. So as you can see, I've used them on several of my little slides here, and I've used different designs on these were cardstock that I used, but on this, I don't know if you can recognize it, it's actually tissue paper, and this is the tissue paper from Tim Holtz, and it just worked perfectly for these little slides, so I was very excited about that. Also, as I continued to experiment, I found that the slide opened up and I was able to put one of my photo booth pictures in there. And not necessarily everyone's going to fit because you don't have a super big opening, but you are able to put some of these photo booth pictures in there. And then as you can see here on this one, I didn't put the slide on the background. I kind of left it open, and I added the wings, and it's just adorable. So there's so many different options that you can use. I used Remnant Rubs the other day, but then I pulled out some of my Chit Chat little stickers, and I started putting these as well. So these are perfect for these to put little sayings, be your beautiful self. So there's just tons and tons of options for this. So I want to go ahead and show you and create one for you actually on camera to show you how versatile these are and just how cute they would be for some of our junk journals or cards or just really anything. They're not really thick, so you could easily stick this on a card and it would perfectly. So let me go ahead and go grab a couple of these and we'll get started. All right, so as I explained the other day, let me go ahead and move these out of the way. Your slides come in a variety of design. A lot of times they're going to have words that show color transparency, or they might tell you know, who the manufacturer is. They might have borders. There's a lot of different designs, but in one of the estate sales that I went to, I found some slides that were completely white, and I thought, well, that's kind of boring. Wasn't really sure when I got those what I was going to do with them, but like anything, you know, typically if you're creative enough, you're going to come up with something. And one of the things that I've said before is I've really struggled with some of my creativity, and I'm hoping that it's starting to come back finally, because I just have been having a blast altering these. All right, so you're going to want to start out with a slide, and I'm going to go ahead and I created this for you the other day, so I want to go ahead and create something a little different. So these can work for all occasions, and what I'm going to work with is, instead of working with this floral tissue paper this time, I'm going to go ahead and work with this poison tissue paper, which would be fantastic for Halloween. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and just roll this out. And what I love about this tissue paper is you get so much of it. So it's really great. All right, so I'm using my 3-in-1 Beacon glue, and I'm gonna go ahead and I'm going to glue it down just like I did before. So your beginning process is pretty much the same. Okay, so now I like to glue with my pattern going this way, because if you do it this way, well, I guess that actually might be better if you're, so you have to be strategic here. All right, so if you're putting a photo, you may want to have it up and down, but if you're doing a design, you know, you might want to have it more horizontal. Now I'm going to be working with this lady right here, so she may work better this way, and then that way I could decorate the sides. So let's go ahead and do that. And as you can see, I'm just kind of gluing it down because you're working with tissue paper. It's not going to require a lot of dry time, which is nice when you're creating and crafting. So went ahead and I just kind of glued it down, and then I'm going to cut. Now as you can see, I'm leaving extra edge because we're going to wrap it. All right. And that's how it's going to look on the front. Now here's the little trick I came up with. See if it works. I haven't actually done this yet, so I'm hoping it's going to work because I am on camera. There we go. It opens this way. These open up, and that's how I was able to put the little photo in there, because I was able to open it up. So as you can see, it opens up. Now you can easily fold this over and not have to worry about it showing on the back side. So let's go ahead and trim this down a bit more. All right, so I'll go ahead and just trim this down, kind of like if you are covering a journal. I don't want a lot of bulk on the corners, so that's why I'm doing the rectangular here. Okay. Now that you have it glued or cut down, it's just easy to add a little bit more adhesive. And I'm doing it right on the edge here to make sure it catches. And then I can just wrap it over. Wrap it like that. And wrap it like that. And that one I cut a little bit too short, but as you can see, it's still wrapping no problem. All right, so when you go to put this down now, let's see how this goes. It goes like that. Like that? I don't know how it goes. All right, so I'm gonna make a guess here. Do it that way. All right. Oh, you know what? Actually, you want to, there we go. So I was looking at the edge. What you want to do is you want to look at the inside to match it up. Sometimes it takes me a minute. All right, so I've got my back side here. I'm going to go ahead and glue this down, and then we'll give it a minute to dry. But as you can see, now you have really nice edges, and and your back is not as dirty as it was with the other one. All right, so let's just glue this down a minute. Okay, so now that we have this glued down, this is just really easy. All you want to do is, this is tissue paper, so this is just going to be really easy to break through. Just cut through your paper. It's a little easier to work with than the cardstock because of course your tissue paper is very thin. And if I was smart, I would have done that before I glued this down. Let's see if I can actually, it's still a little tacky. Yeah. I think this was the whole point of the video, is to show you how you can wrap it. And I got ahead of myself. Okay, so just cut really close to the edges so you can wrap these in. Can't believe I did that. Oh well. Sometimes when you're taping live, it's good to see how we fumble, so that way when you are creating these yourselves, you don't make the same mistake. All right. There, that's what I was going for. So now you see you have really nice edges. And then we're going to try this again. We're going to glue it down and add a little bit more adhesive. Okay. And there we go. All right, so now you don't have those corners on the back, but you still have a nice edge. Okay, I'm just straightening it up here. All right, so that's perfect. I love it. Okay, so now we have this frame that's completely covered. So what are we going to do with it? There's a lot of things you can do at this point. So you can add your film strip back on. It's really kind of cool to have these little edges here. So that's one of your options. You can definitely do that. Or you can just leave it blank in the back. Now, this is the lady I'm adding. And as you can see, she covers most of the frame. And I really wanted this to show up more. And if I use this, it's going to cover some of my words. So I'm going to leave it open. But like I said, there's so many options. And then you just want to kind of figure out exactly where your glue needs to go. So the glue's gonna go above her shoulders and then on the bottom of her dress. Okay. And then you just want to make sure that if you have words, you want to make sure that your words are going in the right direction. And then just add your image. All right. And there you go. And then from here, you know, if you needed to, you can add some ink. This probably doesn't need it because it's already dark, but I just wanted to show you. You can add ink. If you wanted to add more words or anything like that. I think I have a Halloween sticker book here. Let me see if I can find it for us. Okay, so I found my Halloween sticker book, and you could add a little word if you wanted to. I'm not sure if I'm going to do that. I kind of want to see what options I have here. As you can see, I've been using these a lot. The only problem with some of your stickers, right, is they might be a little big. That's what I'm just trying to look to see if I have any options here. Not so much on the images, but I'm sure I can find something here. Her eyes were dark. I'm gonna have something small. The witches. Silent Night, that's dreadful. Lots of choices. If you see something, scream it out. Let's see. If I were an undertaker. I'd like something with poison, I think, because it has the kind of the poison labels. I don't know if I'm gonna have something. Let's see. For love and death. Ooh, I like that. And I'm gonna actually put it right over her dress because I kind of like it, and it's mine, so I can. All right. Ooh, I like it. All right. So there you go. So this is just a little ephemera piece, if you will, that I can use for some of my Halloween crafting. I don't know specifically what I'm gonna do with these yet, but sometimes when we're crafting or we're creating, you don't have to come up with a finished project, right? I mean, these are just little bits and bobs that I can add to junk journals. I can add them to cards. There's just lots of things that I can do. But I wanted to go ahead and, like I said, just come back and share with you what I discovered when I was playing. And that's really what it's all about, is just playing. The more that you play with your crafts and your projects and your product, I should say, the more ideas you're going to have and the better you're going to get at creating. And I hope that that's what I've inspired you to do, is to just pull out some of your craft stash, start playing. And if you don't have these little slides, I want to remind you I do have these in my shop, so I'll leave a link for you to get some of these, and then just go to town. And I will leave links to some of the product that I use to create these little slides, so that way you can replicate these if you want. But as you saw, they're so easy to create. I know you guys will have a lot of fun creating these, and if you're like me, you're gonna get a little obsessed with them because they are just so cute. I love them. All right, you guys, I'm so glad you came back to see my part 2 of my altered slides, and I would love it if you guys would take the leap and just create. All right, everybody, we'll see you again next time.